The Vasythian Sea spreads its endless tides across these arid islands. Its waves crash on craggy rocks. The creak of rope, snap of sails, calls of men bound out like wayward clouds across the sea. Ships of friendship, ships of trade, and more often than not, ships of war sail across its brilliant blue tide. The region has long seen the flames of hardship lick its doorsteps, leaving blackened ash, empty bedchambers, and ruined cities in its wake. Culture divides nations more than it ought. Trade controls consciousness as city-states, empires, and divine polities vie for influence. Here, the gods living in the clouds and the heroes of conflicts past still linger, still speak, and still hold immense sway in the struggle for control. And all of it is decided by bronze and by blood. Here is the heartlands of the region's culture. Long ago, in the old ages before the archaic era began, were born the people, handcrafted by the gods. Syncamede, goddess of mortal life, created humans and placed them gently into the lush grasslands that would become Theroclea. Aelor, god of justice and law, along with Philotimus, god of morality and civility, helped these mortals settle cities. Taxonidas, god of navigation and exploration, grew angered at Aelor and Philotimus' attempts to entrap the humans. In retaliation, he sent thousands of them on ships across the Vasythian Sea in two great waves, one through the Mesoprovo Islands, and another over the vast and empty sea to Noos. And so the region became populated. For nearly 1,000 years, the gods watched on from above after they had settled the mortals and enjoyed their worship. But in recent years, their approach has become more direct. The gods warred violently with the mortals after they stole away one of the Deathless's daughters and put humans in their place by summoning a near-apocalyptic flood. After this conflict, Theroclea declared divine rule and let the gods take command in choosing a ruler. Now, Therocleans have had half of their territory captured in conquest by the very people that left their own lands eons ago, sent away by Taxonidas. And constant tension between their old religion and the conqueror's new one runs high. Said to have been handmade by Lithosthenes, god of mountains and earth, to be a hideaway from his fellow immortals, the island of Noos is a bulwark against the oceans south of the Vasythian region. It was here that the first civilization made without the gods' direct influence rose. The Erdoclean peoples arose to prominence around the time the first city-states were sprouting on nearby islands and the western coastal areas. Though once, in a fit of rage, Lithosthenes battered his island, and Mount Hieropham erupted, spreading ash and destruction, snuffing out Erdoclean society. Survivors clung to the southern coast. Remnants of this once great people remain, haunted ruins and crumbling towers. The island nation of Noos in present time has fallen into a fiery fratricide. Divided by religion, its borders are unclear, neighbor to neighbor, town to town. Once a nation characterized by immense influence through a powerful navy and command of trade, it threatens to rip itself to shreds. The internal conflict racks its military, weakening trade and naval power, both sacrifices on the altar of religious division. Though originally molded in the image of other Vasythian nations politically, a diarchy was imposed in vain to quell the violence. One ruler from one religion, the second ruler from the other. Though it is too early to say whether these acts of ferocity will lead anywhere other than destruction, we may hope peace prevails on Noos. Perhaps the most influential entity on the sea is the wide-spanning Vasythian League. Ages ago, during the earliest period of settlement on the western shore of the Vasythian Sea, city-states emerged as the predominant political body. However, they united against a common foe, hundreds of years ago. Vasythnos was a kingdom that spread across the Mesoprovo Islands and became the dominant force disrupting trade and peace for the city-states. Raids, piracy, full-on sieges, and violence at sea had mounted, instance after instance, perpetrated by the kingdom of Vasythnos. The city-states sent representatives to the wealthy city of Vysantha. There, lengthy talks were held. Some say they lasted a whole year. Regardless of the time, the outcome was substantial. A joint war was to be declared, an invasion of the islands. The city-states launched a fatal and lengthy 16-year campaign against Vasythnos. Many retreats were made, but much ground was gained. While the allies failed to achieve victory, their war was not for nothing. Both heirs to the kingdom were killed. The nation was severely crippled, and within 10 years of the war's end, Vasythnos collapsed. A decade later, these city-states on Saphonica were brought under one banner by Symphestra, the Great Unifier. The Saphonic Legion formed after, captured the Mesoprovo Islands, and launched another campaign into northern Theroclea. Upon capturing the northern half of the nation, the Saphonic Legion dubbed itself the Vasythian League, a truly regional power. The Vasythian League is a domineering entity, governed by a Parsophon, a single ruler, and their vast council of representatives from every policity or province. The League suffers under the weight of its bureaucracy. But do not mistake its slow internal machinations for weakness. Fielding an army bent on glory, the Vasythians seek greater regional conquest. Believing themselves inheritors of a heroic heritage, they desire to reunite their cultural ancestors, the Therocleans, under their banner. Their occupation of northern Theroclea is rife with tension, violence, intrigue, and subjugation. A land of artists, a land of peace, a land of prosperity and heroes. The Chios exist outside of the grasp of the League's conquest. Their people are culturally Vasythian. However, it is their mastery of diplomacy which sets them apart. While formerly members of the old Saphonic Legion, the Chios and its cities have since gone their separate ways. They strike a keen balance of allegiance to Vasythia, friendliness with Theroclea, partnership with Noos, cordiality with the Diomean city-states, and trusted trade with the Helmenian Empire. Here, some of the region's most recent and prominent thinkers, artists, songwriters, poets, and statesmen have hailed. Praised for its artistic output, the Chios glides like a bird close to the water, distracting the serpents and keeping the sea calm. But underneath, a rippling beast awaits. The Chios' trade with the Empire is not just in basic goods and intellectual parley. Bronze lies in the belly of ships, curling across the waves from Rodarnum and Bartza, all the way to Hymnos and Talarnis. In the mountains, the Lacosians are trained from dusk until dawn. The fittest children taken away from their homes, celebrated as future heroes, and reared through the ranks to greatness. On the shores, the poets praise, and in the hills, the soldiers shriek. The Vasythian League may feel safe in its vastness, but enemies are born in the shadows of influence. Thank you for watching. Hey all, I'm Joe. I'm the creator of Bronze and Blood. I just wanted to thank you for watching, and hopefully you subscribe, like the video, leave some comments or ideas, or critiques if you have them in the comments below. I just wanted to introduce myself and say just a few plans for the channel going forward and a few words of caution. The words of caution are that not only am I involved in other projects, I'm a writer, I'm a artist, but not a great one, as you can tell. But going forward, I'm going to try to focus on making art for the videos myself, instead of relying on the kindness of most of the people who provided art for this video on ArtStation, who were very cool. So all their links will be in the description below. Also, I am a graduate student. I'm getting a master's right now in American Studies, so I'm kind of busy on that front. So I just wanted to let you know that videos will not have a consistent schedule, but I will try my very hardest. Now the important stuff, the plans for the channel ahead and the project itself. I would like to do a few sort of mini-series, quote-unquote, where
it'll be more like an audio drama than it will be a acted out thing, and I'll provide a few still images, or maybe get some friends to provide some still images that are great artists if they would like to contribute, as well as friends to record audio clips as well for characters, who knows. But I've got 1 or 2 planned, but I also would like to continue doing like lore videos like this, where it's sort of brief overviews of other nations in the project, groups of people, or just focusing on short stories that describe a bit of lore, a character, a religion, a place, so on and so forth. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, stick along for the journey. I'm going to try to at least produce once a month a video for the channel. That might be a lofty goal, who knows? But thank you for sticking around and watching through. I really appreciate your support, and if you continue to support, big thumbs up to you, and let's see where this thing goes. Thanks, guys. Take care.